Hi YouTube. I hope you're doing all right. I'm okay. Um, sorta. Tell you about it, a little bit about it, maybe in bit here, maybe more tomorrow. But to start off with, you might hear a little bit noise because Doug's gonna bringing some wood in. So if you hear that's what that is. But I don't think you'll hear too much. I have my door closed, but it still might make a little bit. So just if you hear like chunks of wood, some of the big oak pieces are quite heavy. So when you set them down, even or if you have an arm load and they just crash, that happens too. So yeah, just so you know that tonight at about, let's say about 9 o'clock, will be the end of a 3 day fast for me. I decided to fast when I was having problems. My oldest son showed up. Well, didn't show up. He came for maybe forever. We didn't know, but had needed some help getting off the streets and addiction and going through a divorce and all kinds of things. But it got quite dark and quite chaotic within 4 days. Well, then, so I started after the second day fasting and praying because that's always the best thing to do in those situations is to clean yourself up as best you can and talk to God. When things are really horrible like that, that's what I do. I do it a lot anyway. Every day I fast till nighttime, but this is different. That's like spiritual war, and it was really bad. He totally tried to take over my home and my life, and whether or not he did it knowingly or out of um, not feeling well in his life or, injuries too that he's on disability, but still. Then my youngest son tells me that when he was here and I had kicked him out, um, that he just needed more love. And I'm thinking, dude, him and his girlfriend were like fornicating all over my house. I had a broken arm and I was hanging their laundry and putting their stuff away all over. And that was kind of happening. Not quite like that here, but my oldest had come uh, with the exception that there was not going to be any drinking allowed around me. Well, Doug let him the first night, and the second night he had a couple, but the third, when he was told no, he went pretty ballistic, saying he was Satan, and it got pretty bad. So I ended up telling him to leave, and Doug was going to give him a ride, but then he started telling Doug to run from me, run for his life, and this is just like him and his wife, and he had to run for his life, and I said, "You're not getting a ride in my car." So then we had the cops come out here because he had called his soon to be ex wife that he had, was, he took a shower right before he walked out the door in sub zero weather. And I don't know if that was more out of vanity or he had had some like icy hot stuff on his neck and you can't go out and like he was really jonesing for a beer or whatever. And so he walked. Well, the cop comes later that night and told me that he had called and said to his wife that he was freezing and they had to file a missing person on him. The cop treated me like I had done something to my son. If the cop had known the things I had gone through with my son, and what Doug had gone through, and but he didn't care. And so finally today, they found him in the library, and they have him in custody at this moment to see if they can get him a bus ticket either out of here because the cop doesn't want to do any extra paperwork and check out his past record and mental health and physical health problems. So he has a lot of paperwork to do. or he's trying to get Luke out of here. And this county or state. And Luke had told the cop to tell me that he wanted to come back and try it again. And, you know, we can't do that. Not after we literally had some really major um, bad things said that people don't say and do to their parents. So it's like, no, no. As much as I would love to, I can't go through that. It's killing me. And literally, that it could be a dangerous situation. So I might go more into what things were said, but I don't think so in protection for him. Hopefully, he will get the mental help that he does need, you know? So, yeah, that's what's been going on. That's why my time's been limited here. Not only did my time get monopolized, but I was, Doug hurt his arm. And so I was like doing all the wood all those days and doing most of the cooking. And the cleanup was like cleaning up after a little child, and it was just it almost worse. I mean, and I couldn't ask him anything. He'd go off like, "This is just why I left my wife," and blah blah. So whatever, it was pretty horrible. Yeah. So yeah, like I said, I could be doing a little bit better, but that kind of like brings my mind into wow, master manipulators in this world and how they operate. And Doug and I can hear each other think, and Luke can hear us both too. But he thinks he's the only gifted one, and so we would communicate when we heard him calling himself Satan or whatever. And I just started like praying. I could feel a very dark force working through my son to try and annihilate my life. And they're, the satanic forces are using both of my kids against me in a big way. Like I said, then the youngest one gets a hold of me and tells me, I forgot how to love. Wow. That really, it's like, okay, that's going too far. He forgives me though. Yeah. Like, okay. Wow. This is advice from somebody that smashed the eye out of a tiny little woman. Yeah. And the other one's a little girl hitter. Yeah. Nah. I'm not taking advice from these people. I don't think I will. you know. So yeah, I feel kind of rotten right now, you know. And obviously, I didn't forget how to love because, which is a sad thing to say to your mom when you know better, but you're just trying to play her and manipulate her. And yeah, he's in a halfway house, just got out of prison. So, and I was told Doug this morning, I said, oh, and it's because of the way that I did not love my children that him and his brother turned out to be the people that they are. And I told Doug this morning, why aren't moms like me that have sons in prison that might be like their dad? But why aren't all these mothers in prison if they're such terrible people? You know? It's like Luke said to me one night, he was like, why don't you just call the cops on me? I said, why don't you call them on me and tell them how insane I am? You know, that shut them up for a while, you know. So just mental games like that, constant bullshit. So, yeah. So that is really kind of an example, and I could tell you some mental mind games. And in some respects, it was a nice visit. But when it started getting like when he was a teenager and that type of thing, and pushy, trying to control the whole house with no regard, trying to take it over literally, and both of us, it's like, no, that's the end of that. Goodbye, you know. So I was gonna let Doug give him a ride too until he went there, and then I said, you still can stay here. I said, you can deal with Doug and I'll be out of the picture. And I said, do what you want to do. And I walked in my room and he walked out of the house. So I really didn't even kick him, technically, did not kick him out of the house. I asked him to leave if he wasn't going to abide my rules and police himself around here and respect the boundaries that I have in my home. Like I was just telling him little things like a lot of people think is weird, but I watch how I sit and walk and bend in front of people, and it's like that's what a lady does. You know. Speaking of ladies, here's a good thing. My oldest granddaughter turned 14 a couple days ago, and 3, I think, and we talked today a couple times. One time earlier, and then for quite a bit of time later, and she was showing me what she's gonna wants to upload to YouTube. She wants to make a channel, and she wants to critique stuff off of TikTok. So she pulled this thing up on these people a couple different times, and she was like, "No, you don't say that in front of children," and stuff like that. And I'm saying, yes, that's my granddaughter. But just some of the things that she said and did was so funny. It's like, you are really good at this. You should do this. So she made me laugh a couple times, and we didn't talk about who she calls Mr. Unmentionable. So she needed to talk to me, and I did her too. She brightened my day, and vice versa. She had work to do before we could talk the second time, and she got it done. And my 3 of my granddaughters that lived together from my oldest son, their mom got them a dog, and the dog's name is Chaos, and it looks almost like my little lady did, and she was Jack Russell Basset Hound. And I said, "Is that a Jack Russell?" And she said, "No, it's a Chihuahua mutt mix, and it's pure white, and its name is Chaos, and he's a pretty little dog." I told him, I go, "Hi, buddy, you're a pretty puppy," and he like kind of looks at me, and it's like, oh, how cute, you know. So they have a dog to take care of, and I got some videos the other day of they were playing the drums on the Wii set, and then they were dancing like aerobic dance on it, a couple of them, and things like that. So that was really nice. So I've had some nice things happen, like that. But the rest of it was pretty hard. And the night before last, Doug's cat Bob was walking through the house almost all night crying, "Mama, no, no, ow." And he doesn't usually do that through the night. He was really upset. He's an older cat too, so he knows a lot of English. And when somebody tells you they'd burn down your house, he said, "I'll burn down your house if it wasn't for Doug." And I know that he would do anything to Doug too if he didn't get his way, if he was jonesing for something. So it's like, yeah, I understand. But yeah, I guess I wasn't going to say much, and then there I go. Oh well. I was wondering how I was going to approach the subject, and yeah, it is what it is. There's a lot more that was said, but the thing is, when you're literally around somebody that knows scripture, but maybe not as good as you, but knows it, they can use it against you. And I had some bad battles for about 4 days, and they were horrendous, pretty terrible. You know, when you can't prove somebody, and they say they're being guided by the Holy Spirit, but their actions don't say it. They're just speaking it. It's like, and then if somebody doesn't get along with them, people like that, they're like, then you're the one that doesn't have God in your heart because you're opposing my ways, that type of thing. It's like, whew. almost unbelievable. Yeah. So, and he said some pretty hellacious things to Doug when Doug wouldn't go get him any more beer. You know, they had beer the first night. They went out in the shop till 4 o'clock in the morning, and I didn't say nothing. I thought, okay, it's because they asked me. I said, one night, okay, whatever, and don't involve me. Just please stay away from me. And they didn't come in till late. And the next night, they had a couple, and Doug said this is the last of it. And the third night was the bad one, where he didn't have anything. You know, it's like, oh, okay, I see how this is. You know, but he had been talking about going out west and even getting incarcerated so he could have three hots and a cot. You know, the old saying. Excuse me, I'll light a cigarette and talk a little more with you. So, yeah, he got his wish tonight. Hopefully, this officer, if he can do the paperwork or do the investigation for Luke, he'll see that he's unstable and he actually needs some help that I'm not qualified to give him, you know. And so with Mr. Serve and Protect, that literally this creep told me and Doug that, well, I didn't see any footprints going off the property. I'm like, because Doug and I watched him. I see it's sub-zero and in snow, ice packed snow. It doesn't leave footprints, you know. And it was dark, and he said, and he didn't see. And during the day, Doug and I watched him walk down the driveway and take a left. It was a little bit after he was gone. I told Doug was going to go and do something in town. I said, why don't you just look for him a little bit and see where his mind's at right now. And Doug drove all over town for about a half hour or so and couldn't find him. And even the cops were looking in the bars and stuff, you know. So, um, anyway, so yeah, it's been kind of a rough tow, you know. So, yeah, so that cop really does need to do his background checks on Luke because they're going to try and get him into a local shelter, but it's not something you can just go in. You have to be put on a list and they have to check you out first. So we don't even know if he qualifies to do that. So then the cop asked if I could call his wife if she would get him a Greyhound ticket, and he asked if we could. And right now my car is down to well, overdrive is gone and second is gone on a 5 speed PT Cruiser. So we don't even know if you get stranded. And Doug can only go 45 miles an hour. So this cop wanted us to maybe even take Luke over to another shelter that's like 50 miles away. And what would happen to Doug on the way there? Or, I mean, when you can't trust somebody, well, the level of disrespect and the maybe the drugs and whatever involved, I can't prove it's just spiritual, but that's what it is. But anyway, so you really, if you get to the point where your gut instincts tell you maybe this is not a good idea, you know. So, um, maybe in the future it'll work out. I don't know. But right now, I don't have the energy to be a treatment counselor with my own kid in an intimate situation. Just didn't go well. You know, it's because they don't have the respect for my abilities, and they're not locked up. If they were locked up and I was there, that would be different. And I wasn't their mom, you know, that type of thing. Then I could talk to them and it would maybe get somewhere, maybe sink in a little bit. But yeah. Oh, yuck. Excuse me. I wanted to do a bigger fast than I usually do anyway. I'll do like 2 or 3 day, like every 6 months or so or whatever. Sometimes maybe push it a little further, but and I've done giant ones before, but if you don't really need to, it depends on how often you do it and when you should. And when you have enough calories in your body, then and you're going through a rough situation, it really is a good way to just concentrate on you and God, and you're not worried about the next thing you're going to eat because you're not going to. And so you take that part of your mind that used to monopolize all that time and thought and put it in God's hands. And that's how that works. You're actually closer by not using one of the fleshly things that sometimes gets our bodies and even our minds in trouble, by being a glutton of all kinds of things can get you in trouble being a glutton, you know. So if you take care of yourself, you really will be closer to God like that. So, yeah. And He did tell me what to do. In times it was pretty volatile in some respects. But like I always said, and this is sad, but if they weren't afraid of me, I would not be sitting here in one piece because they're very skilled martial artists, not as skilled as I am though. And that's how God has helped me like that. Luckily, I didn't have to do anything like that, but I have in the past, and it's not pleasant. It's very painful physically and emotionally, you know. Oh, that's what I'm going to say when I told my oldest son about being like a conservative dresser or walker or whatever in life. And he said to me that he's going to help me get over my trauma. And that comes from trauma. And I said, no, Luke, I said, that comes from when I was a little girl. I said, I've been like that my whole life. So help me get over my trauma, right? you know, no, it's like, oh, how are you going to help me? I didn't say this, but I'm thinking, how are you going to help me? Give me low cut clothes and then I'll fit in with everybody else and I'm not traumatized anymore. It's like, oh, I see. I think I like the way I am. I'll just stay like that. I did say that. So, yeah. But if he wasn't talking to me in a derogatory manner, he'd like, I had to literally ask him to leave my room and not come back in it. I have a lazy boy chair in here and other chairs and stuff. It's a pretty big room actually. And so I said, and knock before you do come in because you're just not welcome to come in and out monopolizing my time because it was getting to that point. And then he was like, oh, I don't know where I was going with that. But yeah, it's been so much and sleepless stuff too. So yeah. It's like Doug had a gun laying out and he had a Luke said something about it and he went and locked it up in the shop. It's like, no, because we don't have little kids laying around. But we do have some pit bulls that are a little crazy around here that were growling at Doug outside the shop. But Doug would never shoot a human being. We'd rather just kill us then. So, at least I don't think he would. He said if it was like the zombie apocalypse type of thing, maybe. But yeah. Oh, I don't know. I might get back to what I was saying, but yeah, there's so dang much that went on. And I've heard it all before. I heard it decades ago, and I heard it out of him. I heard it out of his dad. I've heard it out of his brother, almost like word for word type of stuff. Both my sons aren't even half as bad as their dad, but it was enough to make me sick. It's like, yeah, wow, you know, but yes. Pretty terrible. So let me see if I can get back to my train of thought, what I was thinking. Maybe just the sleep deprived stuff. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, it was pretty cold out today. I went out and filled up my bird feeder and fed them kitties out there, and yeah, it was. But I had my uh, insulated pants on, like ski pants, and big parka and another sweater underneath it, and so I double layered for everything because it's cold. So, yeah, that's why everybody was so worried about Luke when he was out there because it was really, really cold. But wow, yeah, that was bad. At least he's warm tonight. Like I said, he wanted 3 hots and a cot to get out of paying his child support so he could reapply for Social Security and have a lot of money. Because his kids are probably going to have a new stepdad coming up here. But excuse me to my beloved daughter-in-law. I'm sorry about my personal life and your personal life in my diary here, and the narcissism that's connected with the spiritual warfare that's going on. So I do beg your pardon and humble myself to you in that respect. Um, and I love you, and I love everybody involved. So pretty terrible. She told me she's sorry. I wrote her back, I'm sorry too, and we've been talking, through the days and whatnot. But yeah, and I'm still going to keep close to her because it's like, she was like my girl before all this baloney, and she always will be in my heart like that. It's like nobody's going to make, oh, Luke got upset. He's like, I showed some pictures that she had sent me, and one was she had her hair just cut so cute, long, but just cute. And I said, well, she looks good. I said, her hair is cute. And he looked at me snarly, I was like, well, it did. If you're looking, that's a beautiful haircut. It suits you well, you know. So, yeah. Anyway, yeah, divorces are hard anyway, no matter. I think maybe, I don't know. I think some people, they're so different. People are different. Like I can say with conviction, I have never thought sexually outside of my marriage, and I've never had a gay thought in my life, you know? Not my own. I mean, as far as thinking, like, why did they do that? Or what's this? Or what's that? And like, see, I really didn't even know nothing about that, literally, till I was about 18, 19 years old. That's pretty naive. And I've been called naive before. And I think I'll take that as a compliment, even though it was meant to be an insult. So, yeah, I'm smart, but I guess you don't have to know the depths of Satan, you know, unless that's who you are, you know. So, well, everybody, I'm going to leave it at that, and I will be back tomorrow. I told Doug this isn't going to stop me, and even he knows. Nobody, not him, not nobody. You are not stopping me. You know, I'm going to talk to people and tell what's on my mind in these warfare times that we're going through, and families and children and spouses and whatever the case may be. Could be something in the media, in the news, or which I don't watch much of, but if I see like an article or whatever, or I might see something on like Sunday morning or Face the Nation. If I'm loading up my computer, I'll turn the TV on and listen for the weather because I don't like the weather that's on my computer. At least not the one I've got right now. So for about the last half a year, I've been watching our local weather, which is nice anyway. But I liked it when it used to be on my computer, it would tell the temperature outside, and it would show whether it's cloudy or sunny. It does that cloudy or sunny thing right now, but it always changes location, and you always have to go in there and sign in every time you want to use it. It's like, this is flipping ridiculous. All I got to do is turn on my TV at a certain time, and there it is. So I'll load up my computer and listen to the weather. It's just about, it seems to have been working out really well. So, but yeah, I'm going to keep my spirits up. I told Doug I have Luke's children and another granddaughter that's 10, or will be 10 in a few days here, and from my youngest son. And I'll keep stable and happy for those girls and the mothers because they need me too, you know. So, and I need that for myself too, to keep my spirits up for all of you, because I love you, and and not going away, and things will calm down, and I'll be back to normal. And well, this is kind of normal, sickly, and sadly enough, the spiritual warfare we're going on. So I was going to tell you everything, and I kind of almost did, but there's still kind of more, and it'd probably come out maybe tomorrow or whatever. But I'm even reliving it as like, woo, Nightmare City. It's like, okay, whatever. And I know you all go through your things like that and everything else, and that's why I'm talking about it. It's like these people in the world that actually are a part of secret societies, and their parents and forefathers are sorcerers or whatever the case may be, from whatever area they're in. This is a real thing in our world, and I'm not going to be quiet about it. So I really do love everybody, and I'm not going to shut up for you. And I love you as my friends so much. I'm blessed. I really am. You all are so awesome. If you look at what each and every individual one of you do, I heard like one of my subs talking over on Bruce Sees All that, oh, no, that was a different one. Somebody was talking on a different stream about what their 1.5-year-old did. That's what it was. Um, it was the high frequency tribe, and it was a woman that they call Leggy Maggie, and she was talking about her 1.5-year-old was watching Hamish's son, Owl, and him. What was it? They were like on a bike ride, or I don't know what it was, but because I didn't see that one. It was during all this that was going on. But she said that her little boy had been watching his older boy, and when Hamish's son all accomplished something, Maggie's little boy started clapping for him. How cute is that? you know? So just something happy I thought of that I saw written. It's like, how that's so cool, you know. But I mean, people, what they do, and it's like, I have a friend that has twins, and another friend that's Muslim with dark skin, but she passed around a post that said, when you're made fun of for being uh, the whitest, or when you're made fun of for being the white girl, and her skin's darker than mine, but it's just funny. So, and she's very funny like that. So, I should say maybe not Muslim, but and not totally like a convert Christian. She believes in Christ. And are any of us Christians, because we really don't have a church beyond talking to each other on here. And so that's where she's at too. So that's pretty cool. All right, everybody, I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much for joining me and bearing with me. And I know too many of us understand each other and all these things. And let's just make this crazy go away in this world. I can feel a change. It seems like, in a sense, a little bit better, because we all have each other to talk to. that does make it a little ease some of the pain like that. But the things and the persuasive, manipulating ways in this world with the media and the advertisements and everything, it's god awful. So, okay, everybody, peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA. Thank you for joining me.